Hey guys, Evolved Mentally back, and so now I'm gonna do a quick Leech race review, and I want to make sure I stay focused and on point. Okay, so we have two melee units. We have the Ravagers, and we have our Scorpions. Bronze Ravagers, they're basically these are your absorption, your sustain. It would be the equivalent of like swordsmen's. They're your sustain. They stay alive longer. They're gonna help you tank like snipers. They're gonna help you tank archers, things like that. There's a lot of them. They have a good amount of health altogether. It's like a swarm mentality. They get revived by Gazol, Raxus. Um, yeah, so actually, you know what? The heroes that play off of this, I gotta start doing notes before the video so they're actually like, designed perfectly. But basically, the heroes that are gonna play off of them and that you need are like Gazol, and the reason being is he's got immortal strength, which help all of them, but it's gonna revive a good portion of your undead units as you continue to level this up. Which means that they'll literally just revive. So like they could kill. It's just like the Crusader Resurrection. Your opponent could kill a good portion of your troops, and they'll literally come right back on them and fight again. So that's your absorption, your sustain, not your damage or your push, and we're gonna go over that again, obviously. The next Leech hero would be, if you're on a paid account, definitely Cleo, because she's got something similar to that. So she has Book of Eclipse, which reduces the damage humanoid units deal to you, so you're going to counter all human units with that, and that's also going to go into play with the fact that Fearsome Aura from Gazol, he has morale collapse, so he's going to collapse most humanoid morale, so they're really good counters to any humanoid unit, which includes Rakken. I'm still learning how to counter the Samurai with Rakken. It might be mummies, maybe. I don't know yet. I still got to keep testing things, but um, in addition to that, she also has Tomb of Wisdom, which you see also on Avril, which can get her magic level up to a really high, like 180, if built correctly. And then Tomb of Redemption, which is huge, so it's going to play like the Gazelle Resurrection concept. Basically, it's going to revive 8% of all destroyed units, so just think that keeps getting leveled up. And I don't have her, so I can't show you that, but actually, yeah, I can. No, I'd have to swap accounts and sign into other. I can't do that. But that's okay. I'm gonna eventually do a hero review for all of them. And you know what? Maybe I'll do that soon. Now that I've done this, I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do all that. But okay, so next up would be Raxus. He's also really helpful towards what's it called? So Raxus wields 3 lanterns. These buffs are double for friendly skeleton units. So that's really good. So basically, it's saying it's a buff for all allies, which means it would help humanoid units too, or scorpions or spiders. But it's doubled for skeleton units. That's so he's needed for Leech if you're gonna be on a paid account because that'll be broken. It sucks that I don't have all of these heroes, but actually he's void, so you can't even pay for him. You have to get him by unlocking him. So you actually have to do some work for him, and that means I can get him. Actually, I think he's my next hero. Raxus wraps a lantern with the despair of the abyss causing it to emit an area of irradiant light, restores health to friendly units every second. So it says friendly units. I'm gonna assume that this will actually heal undead units too, because it doesn't say it doesn't heal undead units. So that's huge if it does work, because there's also that new item that came out, or that they gave us this, and this does actually heal leech units. So anything that can heal a leech unit is potentially very, very broken. Go back to Raxus. Because he's got other things that still help. Raxus warps the Lantern in Despair. Light restores 4 health to every unit every second, deals 4 damage to every. Yeah, so look at that. It's dealing damage and giving them more health back. Attack speed of all movement reduces the attack speed of movement. So that's huge too. He's just an all-around great buff character. I've never actually had him. Cursed Light Raxus, so Violet Light that increases friendly attack by 2%, reduces. Um, That's freaking crazy. He's actually broken. He's definitely needed for PvP, and he's totally undercredited because like he's really good. Um, Whenever enemy humanoid unit perishes within the lighted area of a lantern, there's a 5% chance it will leave behind 2 corpses. That's awesome. So this is another revive concept, and it's the enemies that it's reviving. So just think about that for a second. Metamorphosis. So 5 seconds, then absorbs them into becoming a spirit of a demon. An additional damage. Well, that's pretty broken too. So he can do a ton of damage with his ult, just like Soul Scourge or anything. So he's needed and broken. And like you see how these are playing off of each other. Is they're gonna keep bringing your troops back to life. And then you have the Summons Queen. Rose obviously, who's gonna help out and boost your spiders, get them summoning faster, attacking faster, because their summons are based on how many attacks. I think it's 3 or 4 attacks before summons. So they're gonna summon faster. They're gonna get more damage. The spiders are gonna start to explode and deal poison damage. So they're just gonna be a nuisance to deal with. And overall, she's also a start tank. If you if you level this up enough, she becomes a start tank, speed hatching and mother of spiders, because she'll start off with a ridiculous amount of spiders immediately. So that's like your focuses. And then that's it for Leech Heroes. When it comes to PvP now, you actually want to use, though, it depends on what you have. See, that's what sucks, is that there's still certain heroes, but I covered that in the last video, basically PvP, kind of what you want to use. When it comes to building these heroes, like Cleo, you're going to want to focus your Tomb of Creation. If you're playing anything but Leech, focus Tomb of Creation, Tomb of Wisdom, and then eventually Book of Eclipse, Arcane Codex. But if you're playing, and if you have eventually, like if you get to 50, you're going to do Tomb of Pain, because you're going to have a lot of these maxed out and you won't have anything to put stat points into. But if you're playing Leech, in all honesty though, you need Tomb of Creation because it's your PvP ability, and that's the first ability you want to use. But you're going to need this too. So you really want to get Tomb of Redemption, because it's going to bring back those undead units. One, making it so early game you're not losing so much units, you're losing resources, but you're also just going to be a better PvPer and fighter, because you're going to be able to capitalize on that. And this also, because you want to counter your humanoid units. So I'd build her well balanced if I were you. I would still focus heavily into these last two, and this one, but if you have any extra, put them into Book of Eclipse and Arcane Codex, obviously. It never hurts to do the passive abilities. The passive abilities late game actually end up being what you focus anyways. Raxus, if I was going to build anything, same type of concept. I'd do this because it's a definite damage dealer. You can see it already. I would do this because it's going to bring a lot of troops back from the enemies. And if you bring back, like, let's say, enemy swordsman, and I'm going to assume that's going to scale and eventually do gold swordsman. If you bring back enemy swordsman, right, they can't Crusader resurrect them, so they don't. There's no chance of getting those back. Those are dead units no matter what. So that's good in a fight too, and it's good against walls. It's good in a lot of situations actually, or not walls. It's basically a PvP concept. But yeah, actually, I would try to level him pretty balanced, because he heals all units. So I would level him as balanced as you can. Unfortunately, he's not a hero that you can focus abilities. I would still focus these last few, but he really does need them. Rose, I would focus speed hatching. If you're not playing Leech, just speed hatching. Mother of Spiders, Venom Explosion, and Toxic Touch. That's all I would even level. And eventually, if you want, Spiderweb. But if you're playing Leech, you definitely want to get your Spider Mastery up, because you're gonna see it. It's gonna show and everything. Definitely still want to level speed hatching up because it's broken. Toxic Touch, I don't think it is that important once you play Leech. Like if you're playing Leech, because you have so many spiders launching off on them. You definitely still want to get Venom Explosion, because Spiderlings in general, it's not just her Spiderlings, start exploding and dealing poisonous damage. It's going to be broken. And you definitely want to get Spiderweb, so her you're going to want to really, and Mother Spider, so you're going to want to have a lot of points for her too. And that's basically what I was going to say, is like the race that you're playing is where you should be focusing the ability points that you get into these kinds of people, these characters. I put them into a lot of like summon units, because these are how you get further in the void and what's it called? The void and like the abyss. That's how you get further in those, is you have better summons. But yeah, that's pretty much, that covers all of the Leech characters. If you were gonna PvP with them, you need a high Tomb of Creation for your Cleo. She's the #1 PvP character I'd see in the game. She CCs the entire map. There's no better crowd control, and if you're a smart player, you're gonna combo other crowd controls with that. You're going to put items on, like if you have late game Mako, that can apply stuns to the enemy when it hits. In combination with an attack speed item that he can get the attack speed set later on. I think that's actually the next set. But that'll help you out too. So there's all kinds of different ways to play this, but yeah, you definitely want to combine different crowd control effects from different heroes, because there's a lot of them. And that's it, guys. You know what I just noticed is Lich doesn't really have a tank, so I bet Rose is like their equivalent of a tank. But oh wait, no, we haven't even really covered anything. So yeah, oh man, basically that's how they work in correspondence with these troops. So now we have Ravagers. The bronze don't have this, but the silvers do. This is a morale collapse in concept. Gristblade. It's basically going to make the humanoid units morale collapse faster. So you use that against monks, spearmen. You can't use it against swordsmen or like samurai. They are the direct counters. You can't use them at all against Leech, but you do want to combo Leech with Leech. So the way you beat a Leech player, believe it or not, is having scorpions to match their scorpions. Or just having an all scorpion team, actually, instead. Don't have any skeletons, because scorpions counter skeletons. So by having all scorpions, you're automatically on an even playing field, or you're on an advantage playing field. So when facing other Leech players, always use all scorpions. Thinking about it, yeah, that's true. Sprigs, I have no idea how to play them still, so you're on your own, because I'm getting my dick kicked in all the time by them. They're just really powerful, and I have no idea what I'm doing against them. I'm doing the counter concepts that I know, but they're not working properly, so working on it. And then these guys actually have poison damage added to the curse blade. Now these are really good to go against like spearmen, to go against monks, but or maybe not monks, samurai, because they do poison damage, but at the same time, samurai don't fall morale collapse. So Racken really do counter these guys really well. And all around, if there's all samurai in the field, you're gonna want to use all scorpions, is what I've learned. Not any of these guys. But that's basically them. But they're really good against humanoid units too. Like this is actually, these are really broken against all humanoid units, because they are all human race units. Because swordsmen or spearmen, they may not get the morale collapse on the swordsmen, but they're going to get the poison damage, and it stacks. It's crazy with the spiders. You see how fast it kills things, and then in addition, you're getting the slows. You have them being revived by your heroes if you have the right heroes. We just talked about the percentages. We didn't actually talk about the math, but like basically where you're getting revives from all across the board. Now we're going to talk about scorpions. So scorpions deal bonus damage to normal units, which is anything that's a small unit, like swordsmen, these guys, things like that. These are all normal sized units. The second version of it forms a shield that gives it a 50% damage reduction during the first 12 seconds of battle, which is pretty broken. It also has steel corrosion, which means it starts dealing bonus damage to mechs. So you pretty much counter all dwarf units except for miners, and a lot of higher players think that miners are useless, but I'm going to show in a series that they're not, because that's not cool, bro. And they also resist burning, freezing, lightning, and holy damage by 50%. So that's huge, because that's most mages. That's most dragons, that they're going to be stronger against. And again, deals bonus damage to normal units. Alright, so then we have the Gold Leech, which actually have regeneration. Heals damage cells, regenerating health over 10 seconds. It's always broken to have, and after you do like a Vega heal to follow up with that. I'm learning that using it when there's a lot more of them alive is more productive than using it when there's only a few left. Primal Shield, they also get the 50% damage reduction. They also have everything else the same, so I'm not going to go over it. But they're really good to use against swordsmen, because they're going to kill the crowd faster by having the bonus damage to normal units, and they're not going to do too bad against like ranged attacks. They're going to be able to tank for a little bit. They won't tank forever if it's like snipers and stuff, things that are meant to do a lot of damage very quickly. But if it's things that are not meant to do a lot of damage very quickly, they'll do really well. That was not worded the best. But yeah, basically these are your absorptions. These are your damage dealing troops. They're going to counter cavalry for you as well. They're really good at countering cavalry. they're really good at countering anything. These are really like your baseline tanks. Like the other ones are your sustains, but I'd say these are your damage dealers. Are the ones that are gonna get you what you're looking for, but maybe not because there's 30 of them. And they all deal 5k damage. Kind of reevaluating that, but yeah, these guys are definitely your sustain because they come back to life. But these guys are healable, I guess. So they work really well with each other. You need a little bit of both of them. These guys are gonna kill giant units faster too. It doesn't say it, but they do, and that's why it's just odd. Um, but I guess because it's a large unit. Then you have your acolytes. These are your damage dealer backlines. They hit hard and they hit fast. They also give you plunder bonuses, so they're used to get resources from walls faster. Um, these guys are also going to get affected by all your heroes' revive concepts. Then you get the silver versions, which get this thing called Vengeful Spirit, which actually stuns the enemies for a short period of time and does 0.5% of the target's health. As damage to them, so it deals magic damage to them equivalent to that. And I'm sure that magic resistance would change those percentages, but basically it's dealing damage to them and stunning them, which is huge. For PvP especially, because you can stun their troops, and if their troops are stunned, they can't attack, and if they can attack, that means you're getting free damage and they're not. So that can change the sides of a fight. So then there's the gold ones, which I recommend for when you're playing against both Racken and human units, because it's going to cause morale collapse. Even if they're not fighting the backlines, like, and I so watch this, and you're going to see this with the free-to-play series, but Racken troops, like, the crossbows will shoot through your front lines, whatever it may be, Ravagers or Scorpions, and start killing these. And when they start killing them, they will actually cause themselves to lose morale. So they won't have any health loss, which is really funny to watch, but they'll have full health and they'll start running away with morale collapse. So Gloomy Burial is actually really broken. And it still applies the stun, and they still have the effects of the heroes to be revived midway, or from mummies too, and that's where combos come in. And we're gonna go over that too. Oh my god, this is actually gonna be a longer video if I don't hurry up. Okay, so then we got mummies. Now, or actually, we'll go over spiders first. Yeah. Then you have spiders. These guys deal poison damage. They're massive units, so they deal bonus damage to normal and large units. That's actually really important to know. So that would be actually your best counter to things like a turtle. Interesting. Very interesting, actually. We're gonna see how that plays. I don't know. But they're magical, so they also have resistances to certain damages. And I'm sure you had enough time to read that. If you didn't, I'm going to talk about it on this one too. So then you get silver ones, which gets broodling. They start to be able to summon broodlings to a system of battle. Once you get these, that's when you can start farming dungeons efficiently, and that's when PvP is where you want to start favoring your spiders. Spiders are always going to be your forefront of your PvP matches. Spiders and mummies, really, depending on what you're doing. They get venom spit, so again they're doing the poison damage, and they affect magical and affects only humanoid and magical troops. And they get the same magical 50% resistance to freezing lightning, holy damage. That's important to know too. So they really are the counter to human spiders and scorpions because they get that resistance to the holy damage. Attack the enemy with slime. So the gold spiders start to get this thing that slows down the enemy troops. They also still have the broodling, so they're summoning spiders every 4 attacks, 3 or 4 or 5 attacks. Venom spit, so they're still doing poison damage, and the same stuff follows. So that's spiders. And then we have mummies. So mummies resurrect humanoid bodies as skeleton warriors. Resurrecting units more powerful than your own race has a chance to fail, at the end of the battle, excluding for defending side in siege battle. So that's saying that you can resurrect troops that are at a higher tier than yours. It's just at a chance to fail, and that's the trick late game, end game, late game, end game, either or, where you start to use that to get higher tiered troops than everyone else, and only Lich can actually do that. In siege battles and remaining resurrected, excluding for defending in a battle. Okay. So that's that basically that's telling you that you can build an army with just mummies, and that's a really great way to preserve resources early on. Is just use mummies to do your dungeons and stuff because you build your army for free. So just keep that in mind. That's a tip for free to plays. Basically, everything else is self-explanatory. They also fall under the same concept of undead and can get revived by those heroes' abilities. So if a mummy dies, another mummy can resurrect it, and so can those heroes. All that happens here is they get +2 range. That's it. So they can just resurrect further away, which is good because that means they don't have to go as far and they can attack from a further distance, which keeps them alive longer, and then everything else follows. And then the last one, they just get +2 range again. So nothing changed, actually, which is sad, and they should change that. But I have noticed gold mummies do resurrect more troops than silvers. Way more. They're way better, in my opinion. They'll resurrect full gold units and stuff like that, and that event kind of shows you that. But basically, also very important. So, I've covered all of the units. Now we're going to go into... I'm not going to cover all of that, but we're going to go into what you would want to build for hero research, because I just unlocked it. Is you're going to want to do mage and necromancers, because almost all of them are mages or necromancers. The only one that isn't is the sage, and that's Rose. So all mages and necromancers, and then one in sage that's not, because that's how your account is built. And then you do want these as well, and you definitely always want gladiators and paladins. I'm not, because it's a free-to-play account, so it's really hard to do that. But even if you just had patron, it would be easier to do these. You would want to tier 1 of each, in my opinion, and get the lower levels done, because they're free, like rushes and stuff. But anyways, that's aside from the point. Your focus in research, so again, because this is free to play, I'm doing a balanced research build, because the way time works and how long you have to wait as a free to play to get things, so it just makes sense. But if you are on a spent account, then you can totally rush things and you can get things to what you want. I don't recommend it, because I'm proving here that you're actually better off saving your stuff for the right moments. And that's a whole nother fucking video series, like literally, so I'm just gonna talk about this. But basically, if you were gonna focus, I would actually focus spiders, mummies, scorpions, and then I would save acolytes and marauders for your secondaries, because you can get away with using silver marauders because you don't need the poison damage, because you use spiders with poison damage, and usually that's what I make. I don't make golds of these until like late game. I use silvers early mid game. I usually make gold scorpions early game, mid game, and still continue to make gold late game though. Gold front lines are always going to be your best route to victory, is gold front lining. These guys, again, you get away with going with silver early game and mid game, but late game, end game, you really want to start to try to get these gold warlocks on the field. And then you don't need gold mummies, because there's no difference between them and silver, other than that they're a little bit better when it comes to summoning, but these will still summon gold units too. So you want to use them. I mean, if you're going to have a full gold setup, have a full gold setup. And you want to have gold spiders. So early game, you want to have gold spiders. You can't really get away with silver spiders. You can, like, early game, but, like, within a week, you need to have gold spiders. So even, like, these guys will make it all the way to mid-late game, which I would say is about a month. Late game's probably a month in, end game's probably, like, 5 months in, 4 or 5 months in. Ish, I don't know, give or take. It depends on how much you're putting into your account, but you can get away with having these as silvers. So I don't actually have a lot of troops right now, because I'm trying to break stuff down for the event. Also just throwing shit at wall and killing it too. But we're going to show you just a basic little setup really quickly. I don't have rows, so keep that in mind. But basically, there's a few different things you can do here. We do have enough troops to show you a bronze at least, so... And just pretend these are higher quality. So, you would want gold scorpions if you have the opportunity here, and silver marauders here. These, because they're gonna do morale collapsing damage. And even though that they're gonna die to things easily too, like turtles and dragons and things, those heroes are gonna immediately resurrect a ton of them, and you'll see it happen a ton in your fight as you get those percentages up and those command points and those magic points up. And I usually do something like this with my front line, because I usually have a hero that lines up right there. But point being, all I'm trying to get at right now is that you want to do like a 3-piece setup like this, because your heals from like Vega are going to heal them first, and that's the best heal in the game. And then you can always follow up with your Axis heals and stuff like that too, if you have those characters. Now, the other thing is that because these guys are bigger units, they're going to spread out a little bit differently than these guys, which allows these dudes to spread out in front of them and actually hit all of the frontline troops, because there's 30 of them. So you actually have Scorpions taking a good portion of the aggro, and these guys actually start to do some backline damage, which is interesting. Now, behind them, in a perfect PvP setup, I would use, or start to use Acolytes, alongside Mummies. So you want to find the perfect ratio here. I don't know quite what it is, but there's a perfect ratio basically of, yeah, I think that's it. And basically that's what you would want, is something like that. Oh no, that's the dragon spot, I'm sorry. So you would want to put the dragon here. And that's why that opening is there, is for the dragon, so you can walk right up the middle and not have to sit behind troops or anything. So you'd want to start putting your spiders in, and I believe in, honestly, that you don't need all of your heroes, you need certain heroes. So I'm putting my summoning heroes in first. I'm putting in Gazal. You would obviously put in your other Leech PvP heroes. This would be your spot for Rose, where I'm about to put this spider. You would put Rose here on a flank side. I'm also learning something new about Viren. I just thought about in the last video. You should always put him on the end. He's an end tank and warrior, because you want his summons to actually walk around your other front lines and start flanking troops, which I think is really helpful. I would probably put another spider here. And again, if done correctly, you can get a good portion more of heroes. And you would want gold spiders, obviously, too, if you could. Yeah, something like that. Now, here's the thing. If you have better heroes, right, if you actually have good heroes, I would change a few of these things up. So maybe I would take this out. There's a lot I would change. If you have good heroes, you're going to want to go more spiders and mummies than acolytes. So if you have good heroes, I would do something similar to this, actually. Whoop. Something like this. No, that. And then I would stockpile like your good heroes over here. So we're going to use this as Rose. If this was Rose, I'd always put my Rose right here in the center. You can put her on the edge too. But if you have the opportunity to put her right here, you put her right there in the center. Again, I would do the flank concept of Viren. I would capitalize on Mako being over here, breaking the flank. Line your tanks up, obviously. I'm going to put heroes in and call them something different than they are. So these would be like the essential heroes, what you definitely need in most fights. And then here's the bonus heroes. So you're going to need, like, let's say this is a Cleo. This is your Raxus. If you have a Bane, you know what I mean? That's when you want to start putting in those good heroes that you have. Your Fenris right there, and you have one more spot, something like that. This setup right here should do really good for you. I really do believe in having a couple mummies in the setup. I don't believe in... Oh yeah, this represents Rose, actually. Sorry, I forgot about that. But yeah, that's it. Something to that effect. It's a good setup, you know. We'll play it, if I can just replay it. So basically what you would do to first is you would heal. You want to have a cooldown item on your heal. If you have a Cleo, you're going to use Cleo first in early mid-game because it'll kill their troops. Next up, we're going to use... So this sucks because everything's already freaking dead, but if I was going to use something next, it would be my summons. But everything's like literally dead. So yeah, but I would start using summons like crazy. My next summons would have been like... I mean, I could just go PvP someone. Like, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna PvP someone. We should go find someone to duel. You wanna watch something funny? My defense is doing pretty good against people. I'm getting attacked a lot lately. I guess I could show it on a guard tower. Yeah, because I'm gonna be dismantling my troops anyway, so you know what? I don't have exactly everything I would want to show this off with, but I have... Oh, no. It's 190k, so it's not like it's a cheap wall. We would do something like this. So this is my siege setup. We're gonna go bronze though. I actually don't want to lose troops. Because I already don't have much left, and I need at least what I have until the end of the event. I might not get rid of my siege though. So if I lose these, that's one thing. So this is my siege setup. I don't use mummies in my siege setup. I should though. I usually put a spider here. I'm actually gonna swap. No, yeah, I put the spider there for a reason though. So we'll risk a silver spider real quick. I don't have any PvP things coming up right now. Basically, that's it though. That would be my actually, why don't I do that with a PvP setup? And then because it doesn't matter what I lose at that point. Yeah. So you know what we're actually gonna do? We're gonna leave. We're gonna come back. We're gonna we're just gonna hit it like a PvP actually. It was a human wall, right? I am actually... when I hit walls, also, I leave a gap on the edge instead of a gap in the middle. Or, well, actually, wait, no, that's not true. No, that is true. It's true it was on this side, though. I usually do it on this side. Dragon. Like I said, if you have a good... Oh, I don't have any fucking spiders, though. I don't really want to risk golds and stuff, but fuck it. Fuck it. That's what we're gonna do. So, you would put, like I said, a couple acolyte groups, maybe. It depends on what you have, actually. Wait a minute. Damn it, yeah, I'm just gonna risk it. Okay, so the thing is, though... Yeah, I'm not gonna risk those, though. At least I'll have something. We're good to go. So, persevering. I usually start my tanks because it helps me get the line in my head a little bit better. I'm centering him like I'm gonna center my Avril, that way they have more reach and range on where they put their abilities. No rhyme or reason for everyone else I'm placing. Except for I might be able to get another troop here if I do this differently. Okay, yeah, so you would have 2 more arrow spots if you really wanted to. And that would basically be it. So now we're going to go at this dude's wall. You know what? Fuck it. Let's at least make it look a little better. Just sucks that those are bronze. But, yeah, here you go, guys. So we're just gonna go for it. Oh my god. It's actually a, what's it called? A guard tower, too. So the morale collapse wouldn't have done anything anyway, so this actually might work out. Get those summons off after you get your heal off. I thought I could pause for some reason, I guess because I'm making the video, so I fucked up, but okay. So like I said, you're getting our summons off. Now we're going to start doing our damages. And instead of using Gazzo's move, which is going to take too long to get up the field, I'm going to hit them with that freeze immediately. Now we do have the creation heal now. Gazol's damage will do damage to the wall units. Just a heads up. We have the creation heal, which like heals troops on the field, so we're gonna use that. We're actually, this didn't turn out too bad. We're gonna use, oh yeah, so if you get to a wall like this, you wanna use Earthquake too. Because Earthquake does bonus damage to the wall for some reason. I don't know why. I'd have to read the stats to know why that does that. We're gonna do this. Maybe it'll do some damage. I've never used it on the wall like this, but yeah, it looks like it has because some of them popped up, so it looks like some of them are stunned. I don't want to lose too much, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. And what you would have done in a PvP match is you would have already used this too. Summon a couple. See, so it actually got a gold there. That's cool. That's a gold unit. And I'm gonna get that back at the end of this. Jeez, though, these gold units are really eating it. But look at these spiders just absorbing it. So none of the spiders or anything have actually gone down yet. That wasn't bad. That was relatively decent. Let's see what our losses were. Probably pretty high. Which you can change. Yeah, so 2 low. Wow, that sucks. You can change that, though, by basically getting your saving lives rate up. But look what we went against. I mean, that was a pretty solid team of troops to go out with a couple bronze front lines. With a really half-ass setup. You know, under golded. But yeah. So that'll make for decent content. Yeah, look at that, dude. We got 2 revives. So that's what I'm saying. You can get a free army, dude. And that was off someone's wall. That was off a guard tower wall. I really need that 100, so I'm going to pause real quick. Hold up. Okay, so yeah, that turned out better than I thought. Good hit. Finally, you 2 more Valor. We're actually coming along really nice Valor-wise. But yeah, basically that's it. So each troop has its own purpose. We're gonna go. Jesus, watch the replay really quickly, just so we can see kind of what went down. And you gotta remember that this isn't even accurate due to the fact that there is no. I just did it twice. This isn't even accurate due to the fact that I'm not using full setup. I didn't have full gold. I can usually have 2 or 3. I can have 2 gold scorpions right now, and 2 gold spiders. But I mean, I've had accounts that I've had like 180 army cap by this point, and you can do a lot more with that. You can have a full gold front line, you know, and silver spiders really can do your backlining. But basically, with bronze. Less silvers than I'd usually have, basically, and not paid heroes too. You know, that's a huge factor. So just imagine what you could do with what you have. So these scorpions are gonna die pretty quick, and this is gonna show you kind of which line is the front liners. See how they're getting revived? So a ton of these skeletons are actually dying, but they're coming back to life so often that it's kind of like they're not dying. They're the undead. You know, no pun. It's actually the scorpions that are countering these cavalry right now, though, so that's what's important. Because silver Ravagers right now would actually be a fucking fluke if they came against gold cavalry, because gold cavalry counter them and they don't have morale collapse, so they really counter them. It just, you don't want that. Gold Ravagers may do better against them, but either way, you don't really want that situation. Because the revive rates on golds is going to go down, so you know. So the dragon's starting to do a little bit of the work, too. Which plays into my PvP content. I usually get a dragon with Call of the Wild on it when I play Lich, because the summons, in addition to other summons, is broken, and they're behind the scorpions long enough to get the morale boost going usually, and it's kind of broken. So look at all these summons. This is why I put mummies in my setup. So we're gonna retry real quick, and I want to find a point where the summoned units actually start to do damage to somebody, and that's why they won that fight. And the mummies are the ones doing solid damage to these cavalry right here. That's why you're seeing them die so much faster compared to everywhere else. Because they just do damage. Alright, so we're going to slow down. Let's just look for some resurrections. Look, actually, they're happening in the middle. You see that? I don't have... Oh, I didn't even notice that. Whoa. Whoa, look at how many things are getting resurrected, though. Just watch this. So maybe cavalry can get resurrected. Look at that. Boom, gold unit. That's going to start doing poison damage to them. That poison damage and morale clap. Look, another one. These are going to help. Another one that's 3-4. Look at this is why I put mummies in my fights. Because this is just as long as a PvP fight and the same possibilities of getting resurrections. If not better, these might be higher tier troops than some walls. Or some players. So look at all the look at this. Look at this. Look at the morale collapse. Oh my god, like this is what you want. Those acolytes are going to stun enemies, you know, because they're silvers or golds. They're going to start stunning the enemies. Giving you more morale collapse, helping you out more. You're going to start summoning these guys with their gold. You know, like just, it's obvious. It should be making sense by now. But yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I didn't even notice that, but look at that. All of these acolytes that are here were summoned. And look, it's still summoning them. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is really showing what a mummy can do when you have no army right now, because I have no army. Like, wow. And I mean, it summoned a good freaking amount of these guys. 1, 2, 3. Probably the rest are all dead, but it summoned 3 that I can count. Look at all of the acolytes, dude. And look, it's summoning more, and then I just summon more too. Oh my god, dude, it's broken. It just keeps summoning them. And you're still seeing it go off. Look, another acolyte. It's still going off. It's just failing because they're a higher tier than me, I'm pretty sure. I think that's how that works. I mean, they're not really a higher tier than me. They're like the same tier below, but that's okay. Well, the ones that might have been failing might have been these guys because they're higher tiered. But either way, that was amazing. I mean, you just watched like the resurrections go off like crazy. So this is another video, guys, for Lich. I'll catch you guys in the next one.